The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, and this is Behind the Velvet Rope with Irina. Welcome to our show, and I have two amazing guests here with me.
Dripping blood. He said it's a felony for me to break a heart.
Bonus guest here. So tonight in the studio with us, Maria Arlova. Maria, say hello.
Hi, good evening.
And we have here Austin, who's your husband.
Yes.
And,
hi.
He is joining us as well. So it's wonderful. You know, I didn't expect it, but it's a wonderful surprise. So Maria is an amazing person. I think you just the best combination in a woman that you can imagine. You're an artist. You paint, and you're a champion on different kinds of fighting. So
Thank you.
It's just like a perfect combination of that masculine and feminine.
He cannot use a point.
and you're beautiful. You look just like any of the models that we invited. So everyone who is listening to us, you need to join us on our Facebook Live as well, because you can't miss it. You need to see Maria in person and see that strong women can be beautiful and wonderful and amazing and talented, just like Maria. So join us on Facebook on our page Behind the Velvet Rope with Irina. And Irina is spelled I-R-I-N-A. I'm Russian, so it's a different spelling, but you cannot miss it. Join us live and say hello, ask questions, and send us your hearts, likes, and all the good stuff, so we know we're not alone in the universe and you're actually listening to us. So me and Maria, we have common friends. I didn't know how talented she is and everything about her. It's just kind of come to me very slowly over time. But we met first in like a baby shower, and we had an interesting project where you made us to actually paint a piece for a future mom as a gift.
Yes, and we had 9 canvases, and each of us had to finish a little piece of a puzzle.
Right, and I think that was an amazing idea, because usually our baby showers are so boring, and most of the games, some games are funny, but it was the first time when I actually was like, wow, that's something unique. And I love painting myself. I'm not any good at like you, but I enjoy it, and I thought like, wow, that was like the best baby shower ever,
Thank you.
And that's when I realized that you're actually painting something, it's like, but I never knew how good you are or how many paintings you already had. So yeah, that was a discovery for me. And you just had your exhibition, right, very recently?
Yes, just recently on Raw Artist, I had exhibition in Atlanta. So that was actually a first for me, because I usually just paint and put it away in a closet to hang it somewhere, but I wasn't really going out in the world with it. So, and recently I decided it's probably time to share. So I started to show it more, share it via Facebook, Instagram, and I also trying to apply it at different organizations and participate maybe in exhibitions and things like that.
And I think it's a great thing that you're doing it, because your paintings sound amazing. Like you guys, if you looked at our Facebook, we were trying to post as much of Maria's art as possible, but it was always a struggle between the cool fitness pics of Maria and her fights, and your art. So art won a little bit, probably because I'm a girl. So, but yes, and it's congratulations on your exhibition.
Thank you.
I hope we'll see more of your art in Atlanta and worldwide. So if you guys are interested, you can always go to Maria's page. We shared the links, and you can, look for yourself and buy. She sells some of her work, right?
Sure. Contact me on Instagram or on Facebook.
Yes, and you can have that in your house, maybe. I'm definitely started saying it because I have quite a few of my favorite ones. So how did you come to painting? Did you actually went to school for it? How did you learn? What was the inspiration? When did you start? Okay, let me ask you that first.
As long as I can remember, I always was scribbling something, or painting, or drawing something. So it was always a thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So for some people, they have like sports, or like they like meditation or something else. So that's my thing. When I'm painting, I'm just in my world and nothing disturbs me. I'm happy, perfectly content. And
happy wife is happy home, right?
Definitely.
See, what's in that mind, I guess.
No, not at all.
When she's in her happy moment. I see. So, and luckily here in this country, you can get so many tools, and around nowadays with internet, I'm sure there's a lot of instructions. So you never went for like a school or like official
I
study
just
program?
look at things that I like, basically,
And you just
observed, and I'm just trying to replicate my ideas of what I see. And when you enjoy doing something, you just keep doing it, and you're getting better at it.
Well, I am enjoying doing something, but if you compare me trying to replicate something with you trying to replicate something, that's like it's two different things. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely great at it. And I was always like admiring people when they can just look at something and they don't need. I know there are different techniques when you just can connect the dots and whatever. There's like, and somehow you end up with something that you're proud of. Yes. And a lot of like steep and paint classes, I'm sure, inspired a lot.
Those are fun. I like those.
I think we're kind of in the same area with steep but without painting, right? We're talking about the art, so it works, right? Yeah. So I should probably start from where are you from?
Well, I'm actually from the country that's no more, USSR.
USSR. So but
specifically from Ukraine, yeah.
So Ukraine.
Yes.
Not Belarus, because
yes, I was born in Ukraine and actually spent my childhood there, probably until like I was about 6 years old. And then I moved to Minsk, but I would visit every summer. And when I say summer, I mean like 5 months out of the year.
That's a long summer.
Yeah, in Ukraine. So I was traveling back and forth always between Minsk and
which is Belarus and Ukraine.
So my whole childhood I remember those trains, those the
long train journey. I actually love those.
I love those. I mean, absolutely have like the best memories of it, and I think that's where my love of travel and kind of even need of travel coming from. Because I used to in childhood, like you change your scenery every so often. So right now it's like a normal life. If I sit for a long time in the same spot, I'm like, I need to go somewhere.
Yes.
I feel like I need to go on a plane, on a train, and somewhere, and just,
You're not one of those people who are getting all into panic when they're on a plane.
Oh, no. I love it. It's just comfort, of course, like traveling, like especially like 12 hours afterwards. So like I hate everything, and I just want to have like a shower and feel like again a human being. But then time passes, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually ready for this 12-hour flight. I'm good for it.
And I know you just guys come back from Japan.
Yes.
So how long was the flight to Japan?
12 hours.
12 hours.
On the way back, actually, it was just 12 hours. On the way there, we had 3 connecting flights.
Ooh.
So yeah.
And we traveled for over 24 hours by the time we got to our destination.
24 hours. Wow.
And then we took a train when we actually done with all the planes, and we had a train. Actually, not a train, but a bus ride.
Yeah, bus ride.
So overall, our travel time was like coming on 30 hours probably.
Oh my gosh. I hope you got some sleep in between while traveling, because I remember I did that when we went to Dominican. We worked all day, then we drove all night, then we flew there. So by the time we got to the hotel, I just needed to fall asleep, and I didn't want to eat, I didn't want to see anything. I was just like, okay, I need at least 12 hours of sleep, and then I'll be ready to, start resting and enjoying my trip. So what was your biggest impression of Japan?
Oh, so many cool things about
the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay, I loved hot springs. That's really cool. I mean, when you think about that you're sitting in the water that comes straight from the volcano,
right?
It's pretty amazing.
And it's good for you.
Yeah, and then also their nature is pretty amazing too. Like the mountains, the shrines, like built in the mountains. When you like climbing there, I'm pretty good, physique, whatever, but when I get to the top of it and seeing the shrine there with a bunch of stones that someone actually brought up there and built the thing, you're like, wow, that's mind blowing.
I hardly brought myself here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't ask me to carry anything out.
Yeah, we went up on Irina Mountain, and you had to take like ladders and like these chains and stuff in order to get all the way to the top. So can't imagine somebody doing all that along with.
And then the shrine with the statues made of stone and a building, and like, oh wow!
And didn't just follow the sky.
No.
Wow. I actually was when we were in China. My biggest thing was why nobody ever told me that the Great Wall is actually stairs.
Lots of stairs.
It's a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't wear high heels because some people did.
Mm-hmm.
They came ready to pose on the Great Wall with high heels and all the good stuff. And luckily, I was more casually dressed, but I was climbing stairs for 1.5 hours and thinking, why I never seen it on any pictures or videos that it's actually stairs.
Yeah.
Like, why? So those who are going to China or Japan, start training right now, right?
Yes, yes. I mean, and it's awesome to explore the city while walking. That's what I like about it, actually. One of the downfalls of living here is a little bit like lack of being able to walk to places.
Yeah.
So when I go to a city where you can actually like walk and explore it and see around, I enjoy it so much. I'll be walking until I have blisters. And it's just amazing.
Or your foot falls off.
Yes, that too. But
way, right?
it's also amazing how clean it is there and how efficient they are. Like on the bullet train, right? They have so many people coming and just standing waiting for the train. You're thinking like they will never get in time on this train. It's just so quick. It's like a minute and it's gone. And magic happens. They all know what they're doing. They just get in the train and it's like leaves without any delays. And it's always on time.
It's always
How
on time.
amazing is that?
And then you remember somewhere like in Moscow where you're trying to get on a train, like wave number 1. Everybody, like 1,000 people are trying to get in the train without letting people out. Wave number 2, and if you like on your feet, you might make it. Like especially like
Or trolley bus or bus during the winter time, and everybody thinks you need to eat lots of onion and garlic because not to get sick.
And during the summer, nobody uses deodorant.
Nope.
Yeah, all those great things. I remember when we were like going to college and people trying to get in the back door while people are falling out of the front door.
Yes.
Because they're pushing each other. And yeah, when I saw these videos, how you say in Japan, people are just standing in line and they have the opening so people can
It's
come
very
out.
organized.
Very organized. And you would think,
Different mentality.
if you start being so selfish and start thinking about
The process.
greater good for everyone. It works out at the end great for every single individual, right? So
Yeah. They're like, if people go out of the train first, then you have room to go in.
Yeah.
But it takes I guess time to get rid of this. No matter what, I have to be there first, or I'm more important than the person next to me, or my meeting is more important, mentality. Like we're so individualistic here, And it's funny because I'm coming from former Soviet Union. I was born there, hint. So, but I was little, second hint. But I was still very strongly individualistic. But at the same time, I get the Chinese culture and Japanese culture, and I really enjoy it. So. What's next on your list? Where are you guys planning to go next?
Well, we'd really like to go to Thailand, actually.
Thailand?
Yeah.
Wow, you're real adventurous.
But I think it might be Hawaii too, because we have a friend moving there, and we love to go to countries where we know someone, because who can show you best the country if not the local?
Yeah.
Someone who lives there. I love when someone can meet you there and shows places.
All the great places.
Yes. Not the touristy places, like everybody, like, hey, yeah, the Eiffel Tower, yay! Awesome. But like little local bars or little local streets or art festivals, something like that only if you live there you know about it. That makes it a great experience.
So any inspiration you brought from Japan you'd like to paint?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes? Okay.
I was chasing geishas around.
They actually wear their traditional clothes on the street?
In Kyoto, actually, and in Tokyo as well, around shrines. And
shrine.
So you can rent them, like the kimonos.
Actually,
Rent them.
You rent the kimono, and they get you like all done up, and then you just walk around the city and then bring it back.
That's cool. Wow. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to your, inspired by East art, because I remember when we came from China, I was like, I want to redo like a whole room and just with Chinese like seal paintings, where they actually embroider it and all the, create those statues and all this, trees and everything. Like you want to just take a piece of that country and bring it with you in some shape or form.
Absolutely.
But yeah. I try to leave at least some of it back home so people can see it too.
And in Tokyo, it was amazing because it's mostly like stone and roads and not so many trees. But every person have a little garden in front of their house, like in little pots,
Yeah.
So everything's so miniature, but it's so well groomed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like amazing to me how they grow like a whole tree in a small part.
Yes,
Or
absolutely.
they just like recreate whole landscapes with the stone and the trees, and it's like a mini version of a natural landscape somewhere, but it's like in your backyard. It's like basically they are bringing a piece of what they saw and trying to recreate it in their culture. And how was were you guys staying at the hotel, or were you able to go somewhere and see how they actually live?
Both.
Because I heard they're very minimalistic and they're like a furniture and everything is like very purposeful. They don't have anything that is not used. Like everything is very goal oriented inside of the house, kind of like, and it's a lot of
wouldn't say
space.
completely aesthetic. They have still like modern things, but it's not extra stuff that you wouldn't need.
They don't have a whole lot of knickknacks. I didn't really see. They have like maybe like paintings and stuff on their wall. They have like shrines inside their homes. But like the beds where we stayed at Shinichi's house, it's like on the floor.
You just roll them out.
Are they comfortable?
Yeah, they're really comfortable.
So.
Because I was suffering in Israel because our beds were so small. I've never slept in a bed like that since I was 10. And I was like, why? And it was in most of the hotels where we went, and it was kind of a cultural shock to me. It's like,
the rooms are smaller, that's definitely true.
Like well, let me just kind of go back because probably people are interested to find out. Now I get sidetracked. So, like they know your great personality and your arts, we saw your art, but let's go back to fighting. Because when you're in those pictures where you're ready to full fight or you're fighting somebody, you look super scary. You look like very intimidated, And then,
thank you.
And that's how I wanted to, like, how do you go from that focused person who you don't want to mess with to this amazing, friendly, very warm.
You starve yourself for 8 weeks.
Or you starve
yourself.
Oh, that's what it is. So that's okay. So basically, the key to
I'm just joking, but some of it is true. So when I would take a fight, I like to be prepared. So
nobody wants to be beat up. If you ask.
Well, some people just take it easy. I kind of like to win it and like think that natural thing will come to them. I'm like, no, I gotta do it right. So I would have like 6 to 8 week camps where I would work out about 2 hours a day, and I would watch what I eat, and I will stop drinking any kind of alcohol, so no beer, no wine, no nothing. So it's very strict, and I like to have occasional glass of wine. I like to go somewhere, watch movie, relax. So after 8 weeks of that, you get this face.
You get this face like, I need to be down with it.
And it spreads to the whole family. The whole family has that face.
The whole family is like that. Everybody's focused.
Yeah.
Mommy's training.
Yeah.
Don't mess with mommy.
Yeah, they know better.
Yeah.
My friend tried to get blueberry from my plate after I actually made a salad, and everything was portioned. Like I was exactly knowing what's coming in, what's going out, how much I need to eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
She took my blueberry.
Oh my God.
I gave her a look. She dropped the blueberry and she ran away.
I'm glad she didn't choke you. But yeah, I mean, I you see, I cheat sometimes. If I have to go on a diet for like a movie or something, I use something that suppresses my appetite. So that it's kind of easy. You just on the go, and you have to remind yourself that you have to eat those blueberries. So, but when you're training, I'm sure you don't want to mess up with your system. You don't want to.
Exactly.
Right now, especially, I don't know if they test you guys, but I'm sure for athletes like in big championships and stuff, you don't want to take anything extra that can mess you up. So. Yeah, in me for projects, I can sometimes they said it's like it's vitamins with the appetite suppressant, so I guess it works, So, but you guys cannot take anything like that.
We have blood tests, but it's mostly to make sure that you're safe, you don't have any kind of disease contagious because it's a bloody sport. So
right,
and
that's my other question. How did you end up being in that bloody sport?
Well. Funny
Did
thing.
you have like a rough childhood? Because in most of boxes, I grew up in a rough neighborhood. I needed to protect myself.
I had a happy childhood of running around the world in a little village in Ukraine, stealing occasionally sunflowers and green peas from governmental fields. Usual stuff.
Nobody was chasing you around. You didn't have to beat up anybody.
Actually, I had my son, and I put a lot of weight with him. I was like 50 pounds up, and I'm like, hey, I'm back to go to original me. So, and we moved shortly after my son was born, and around us was a gym that happened to be like a fighting boxing gym.
Like kickboxing.
And I just went there just because I wanted to get in shape. So I came there, and like I see this like badass. I'm like, wow. And I saw a girl actually there who was my inspiration. Her name is Mary actually, and she was doing fights, and I like look at her, I'm like, she's such a badass, you know. And I happen to have a talent for it, I guess. So kind of come together. Like I came to her performance once in Wild Bills when they still did this fight. That was fun night, by the way.
I've done it like once, I think. I've been there, but it's so freaking long. It takes like a whole day. Fight.
Yeah,
it's like 6-5 hours.
Yeah.
So you have to be really into it.
Yeah.
Well,
so I saw her there, and I'm thinking like this girl has a balls of steel, you know, to get like with all the people watching you on the stage, you know, don't know what happens to you, you know. And I'm like, I just want to try it once to see if I could do it. So that was.
You were not scared that somebody going to hit you on the face or hurt you badly?
A little bit, but I just wanted to do it once, just once.
I mean, you can break your nose and break your jaw.
It's a little bit.
Oh gosh, you break your nose. You see, I'm like, I'm too pretty for that. I cannot have a broken nose, I'm sorry. But, you know, I would probably fall somewhere in my heels. Hopefully not. But so how was it that your first experience? Were you scared? Were you anticipating it? What was your...
You know what? The scariest thing for me is the stage and waiting for the fight to start. So all the prep work for me is a scary thing.
Because, like, do you usually do research on who you're fighting?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you watch their previous fights?
I would Google them, yes, and like find all the information I could get my hands on. Right now it's like Facebook, Instagram. You can get actually quite a lot of information. So I would exactly know what I should train for, and I would like if someone likes to kick a lot, I would work a kick defense more. If someone is a boxer, I would try to think how to hold the distance and just work around them, go in and out. So
it's a lot of strategy involved. Like
I usually bring it to my trainer, like, okay, watch all this stuff that I found and tell me what to do.
I see. And I saw that you was very successful in that. Like I saw you 3 years in a row, 2014, 2015, and 2016. You were a champion in different categories.
Yes.
Tell us more about that. So what did you win? Because I couldn't remember that.
Well, 2 years in a row I went to IKF, that is the International Kickboxing Federation that does championships in Orlando, and it's pretty popular. And lots of people get all around the United States and even from Canada and Mexico and even some other countries. So that's pretty exciting when you get so many fighters all around the world, and like they usually reserve the whole hotel. So you have like this fighter environment. Everybody's like.
Do people fight with each other, or everybody's very friendly outside?
Outside, everybody's super friendly.
So there is no like face vegan on the bars.
Like that, no. Not a Conor McGregor style.
Okay. Because I was like wondering, it's like, okay, if you put, I don't know, 100 fighters in one hotel, is your property gonna survive?
But you see, like once we're done with weigh-ins and we get some food and us, we're such a happy people.
That's right. It's like, so basically, if you want to make sure you don't beat up, just cook something and feed
Exactly.
I got you. So Austin, let me ask you, since you're here, so how do you feel when you see your wife getting beat up?
I don't know. I
if
think
somebody's hurting her, do you have this urgency to jump in and
No.
She's in my corner.
Yeah, I'm usually in her corner, one of her corner men, and I'm kind of internally laughing, to be honest. I mean, maybe it's sadistic, but
you like to see your wife getting beat up?
No, because
it's like I cannot beat you up, so let's.
Because I know her so well, and I know that like every little like even if she does feel that little bit of pain, that's just like motivating her to like drive even more. Like she's gonna give it back 10 times fold. So I'm just laughing because the other person's just gonna feel it even worse.
Ooh. So you know what's coming.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you shouldn't. You
shouldn't have done that. Yeah. No.
I feel so sorry for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, is there any animosity with the other fighter who you won over? For example, if they lost, are there any sour losers? Have you ever met anybody?
Yeah, I have, but it's more of an exception. It's more of an exception. Normally, people are very respectful because when you're training martial arts, it's just a part that comes with it. If you want to be a real martial artist, you need to be respectful. I think so, at least. But yeah, sometimes you get an odd person. But nobody tried like to stalk me or follow me, anything like that.
I'm sure you won already.
And there's obviously hype before a match and stuff, so there's a lot of that goes on, and then right afterwards, everybody's hugging and happy.
Plus, I think it's like a natural reaction, like when you prepare so much, when you're so tense, and then like you fight and it's like climax, and then it's like adrenaline rush, and you're happy, and also like endorphins released. I'm like, hey, it's all good.
I don't know. I've seen you with a busted lip at some point. It's like, why is she smiling?
Because I have so many endorphins, I don't feel anything. It's the next day I'll feel it.
It's the next day when it comes.
When it's crushed, I usually like the next day after fight, I just would sleep most of the day and just like maybe get up, like eat something, then go to sleep, and then eat something again and go to sleep.
And you just enjoy sleeping and eating. And it's like a baby, happy baby.
Yes, exactly.
So, Austin, let me ask you something. So, when you met Maria, was she already fighting or not? No. It was after you had a baby.
Yeah, it was after. Yeah.
Okay. So, were you intimidated after she started training?
No. No.
Maybe
I actually tried to. I tried to train with her because I do have like a little bit of a martial arts background, but it just didn't really go so well. There was something about her husband.
My husband's supposed to protect me, not kill me.
so we.
And your family, it's the opposite. Maria, you're the champion. It's like I'll let you fight this fight.
Yeah.
I see. So, but you still understand the lifestyle.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
He's very supportive. Yeah. My dad is pretty supportive too. My mom was terrified by it.
Yeah, I think if my daughter was like, Mom, I want to be a rock star, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? To me, like to you, it's like, because I will be worried. When something happens to you. Because, you hear all these crazy stories about like one hit and, something might happen. But
it is a dangerous sport. I mean, you can't deny it. I mean, the more you're in it, the more, cases when something went wrong and it could happen.
But you stopped at the right time. Are you planning to go back? Or?
I'm still training, but I'm not training for a fight, so it's not as intense.
So you just do it for yourself
I'm mostly still kind of open. If something comes up, like if there was one loss, if that girl would give me a rematch, I probably will jump right on it. Because it was just one loss. But before, I was like hungry for a fight. I was actually doing internet research and like contacting promoter. I'm like, hey, what about this girl? What about that girl? Right now, I don't have this like need for it. I still enjoy the training. I have right now a whole team of people who became my friends, and I usually socialize with them, and we all became pretty good friends. But I don't actively look for a fight, if it makes sense.
So if somebody's challenging, you'll think about it.
Oh yeah.
But you're not going around and showing your belt and so like, who won that?
Yeah.
I see. So you just kind of shifted your focus more to the art right now. So that's your new.
As you grow, let's say grow, you start to think about like, where do I see myself in 10 years? Do I see myself in 10 years fighting? Probably not. Do I see myself in 10 years painting? Definitely.
You can paint for the rest of your life.
Exactly. And I would love to develop my skills even more and get it out there, like become more popular, people being interested in my art,
And I definitely can see this happening for you. I mean, it looks like you have such a personality. Like if you set the goal, you're very focused and you almost get to the point of perfection in it. And I can believe like you were hiding all this art in your house somewhere. And I've seen couple paintings when I came by, but I didn't realize how much you already had. There are so many people, they didn't even completed the project yet, and they're already promoting and then, beating themselves in the chest how great they are. And there are some people who I honestly admire, where they work until it's perfect, and then they start showing the world what they actually capable of. So, it's, I'm kind of more of a first category. But, I think there's the pluses and minuses of both ways, because you kind of learn as you go. There are so many things like people afraid to start because like, oh, I've never done it, and they do too much research and then they didn't start it
back. Yes.
and they give up already before they even started it. And some people's like, you know what, let me do it. Even if it's like 70% good, that's good enough. And I just keep improving as I do it. So I think it's good to have both philosophies.
Finding the balance of. Yeah. That's always the hardest thing.
I see. So, guys, if you're listening to us, I'm sure you're enjoying us on the radio, but we feel a little lonely on Facebook. I think somebody needs to come and join us and ask some questions. Maria, I'm sure you guys, you want to know something. So join us on Facebook. It's Behind the Velvet Rope with Irina. And we are live right now. It's a great opportunity to see Maria, first of all, because I'm sure you hear her lovely voice and hear all those titles she just mentioned, and you want to put the face with the voice. So come and join us. We're on Facebook Live, Behind the Velvet Rope with Irina. So, Maria, I wanted to ask you about something. I saw this very interesting animal who is your pet now. And, because Maria has such a unique personality, she couldn't have just a cat or dog or hamster. What do you have? What is this animal?
Actually, that's all the compliments going to this guy over here.
So it's Austin to blame.
Yeah.
So what is it? It's so cute. It's so adorable.
Yeah, sugar gliders. They're a marsupial from Australia. And they
Did you bring them from Australia?
No. They actually have a breeder in North Georgia who breeds them here.
Okay.
And we're doing like a lot of research it was really for Gennady, my son, his first pet, and we're trying to come up with something a little bit unique and
the pet he'll remember for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, it's my fifth goldfish has died.
Yeah. and they live for quite a long time too. They can live up to like 15
so
years.
So what do they do? Like, are they?
They sleep a lot. No, they're nocturnal. They're nocturnal, so we usually play with them at night.
Savages. What are you talking about? When they wake, the little savages.
Yeah.
They can like destroy and demolish whatever food. If it's smaller than them, they will rip it apart.
Yeah.
So, and for those who are interested, what we're talking about, there is a photo on the Facebook and our Instagram page. Come and look for yourself. So is it like it's like a flying squirrel or something?
Yes, when I say that.
They're not a squirrel, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's the closest thing that they would resemble. They can glide. They live in trees.
So they actually fly over the
They like
house?
glide from like tree limb to tree limb or from tree to tree.
No, what about the house?
In the house, yeah, we've trained. Well, the boy he's more outgoing. The female still.
So you have a couple.
Yeah, we have two of them.
Because I went actually Google.
Yeah.
They like to live together.
Yes, and I read that they actually will die if they live by themselves.
Yeah, they're very social animals. So.
I see. So how does your son like it? The pet?
He a little bit scared of them because they like climb on you, and if you like don't have a special suit, almost like when you go into the dogs, when they attack you and you have this big thick coat on you,
Mm-hmm.
So they're almost like that. They would climb on you and they have little claws, and you feel afterwards like you just rolled in the fiberglass.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because they have little scratches all over your body.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It doesn't really bother me, but I think he's just a little young. But you put like a sweater on him and they can climb all over him.
Make sure you wear long sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had a friend, she had a parrot,
Mm-hmm.
and they would let the parrot fly, and they enjoyed it so much. I never did, because he would just like land on my head, on my shoulder, and then try to talk to me, and I'm like, okay, he creeps me out. Like, and he probably felt that energy that we don't like each other that much, so he would always fly over me and do something bad on my head.
Oh.
So I was like, I already don't like you, so you just added to, so yeah, we were not friends with the
It was
parrot.
mutual.
It was mutual.
Sugar gliders they're a little bit of work just because like we have to hand make all their food. So we make this giant like fruit salad basically with egg whites and stuff. And
They like fruits, lots of fruits,
Yeah.
like papaya and mango and like some pear. What else? Probably like sweet fruit mostly.
Yeah, mostly. But we add like egg whites because they need protein. They're not supposed to have any
They have
fat.
like a special diet, and you're their
Yeah.
personal chefs.
They
Yeah.
love live worms, mealworms.
Oh my
my
goodness.
god! They
Yeah.
like take it like an ice cream in their little paw and like bite off the head.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, they're little savages. I'm telling you.
One time we had a roach in the house, and we just showed it to them, and they both came, and they literally ripped it in half. One took one half, one the other. Just
Okay, you described
super
like
quick.
little gremlins.
Yeah, basically. They're really cute, like
They look
to you,
cute,
yeah.
but the way you're describing them, like I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to get in touch with them in person.
And the sound they make until they get used to them. Oh my god, you're looking at this like, little fuzzball. And you're thinking, look, you're so cute.
And
And
it's
then
like
the mouth
screaming, Banshee
opens.
screaming at you.
And that's why the girl called Siren, because like when we heard those sounds, like, does she make those sounds?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow, that's good. You guys live far away from other people. Like, I mean, the neighbors. Like, you don't have like us next door. Like so close.
Yeah.
Because I think my neighbors would give me a hard
Yeah.
time about a pet like that.
They're pretty quiet
Right
now.
now they don't do it so much. They
Yeah.
bark sometimes at
They
each
bark
other,
too?
but it's like a playful bark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm sure they're great keepers of the house. If somebody will try to break in, they'll have already a great.
Sugar gliders attack.
Because first of all, you don't expect what it is.
No.
Like, what is this creature? And then it can scream and bark and scratch you. And
Yeah, they have hands too. Like they have opposable thumbs, so they can
Yeah.
grip onto things and stuff. So it's really
Wow.
interesting.
It's a sharp claws.
And sharp claws. Yeah.
So, if you have a boy and a girl, can they make babies?
No,
No.
no. The boy is fixed, so
Okay. Cool boy. Okay.
Just platonic love.
no.
Okay. Well, because I was thinking like, okay, do they give like a cat? Are you gonna have
Like
like 6 or
rabbits?
7 of them? or something?
Yeah, you can't breed them unless you have a license in Georgia. So
Okay. Well, good.
Good.
They're cute in pictures, but
Yeah.
I used to speak about parents when you had one good one and then he got wet and like got spread around the house. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember. They look so innocent,
Mhm.
and then they end up
With
to
their
be.
big eyes.
Yes, that's what they reminded me. I was like,
Yeah.
they look like a little gremlins,
Mhm.
the cute
Gizmo,
version of
right?
it.
Gizmo?
Yeah, Gizmos.
Gizmo.
It's, I just remember that movie in Russian.
Yeah.
Like I have never watched it in English, so I don't even know what they call them. So talking about movies, you with so many of your talents, like as a fighter, have you ever considered, with all the industry right now here in Atlanta, have you ever
Atlanta
considered to be in a movie somewhere? Would you? Because I mean, did you ever had offers like that?
No, not really.
Not really? Wow. I should send you some casting calls because I
Yeah.
see a lot of. Rock was doing his rampage here, and he was constantly looking for people with like fight training.
Mhm.
And I know there's a couple projects coming up to. At least they're talking about it. No names, nothing, but there's a lot of rumors around that they will need some Russian-speaking actors
I
and
can do that.
fighters.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. Because like they were actually our agencies were submitting us, and we're doing with some random auditions. They just kind of like trying to see what the local talent is, or how much talent they have to bring. So, but yeah, they just finished one of the movies where the whole thing was going on in Russia, and for the whole like. Usually, most of the actors here they look Russian, but very hardly any of them are
Yeah,
Russian.
and the accent is horrible.
Well,
Anytime I see like Russian speaking in American, I'm just like cracking up to myself.
you'll be surprised.
I hear it every day.
I was asked to do Russian accents so many times because I'm Russian, right?
Uh-huh.
And the people said, "No, it's not exactly the accent we're looking for. Can you make it stronger?" So I have to fake Russian accent, how they get used to listen to it in the movies, and that's the only thing they can consider Russian accent. I was like, "This is Russian accent. I'm talking with it right
You're
now."
right.
What else do you need? It's like, no, can you make it stronger? So, when you're Russian and you have Russian accent, but you have to fake Russian accent,
Yeah.
that's very,
It's probably really hard.
very
Yeah.
funny. It's not hard, it's just funny to me. Like, deep
Yeah.
inside, I'm laughing the whole
Yeah.
time, but maybe that's why I don't take it. If I don't take it seriously, it doesn't look very serious. I'm supposed to torture somebody and I'm talking in a weird Russian accent. And
Yeah.
I'm laughing deep inside. It's like, I don't look much of a torturer already. Well, but I try. I can get in a character. I can be pretty cold-hearted. I heard, so I can torture people in real life too. I look friendly, but
See, maybe you have future in fighting.
well, I mean, Maria noticed that I actually have a kickboxing club. The same. You went to the same one, not this
Not
location, but similar franchise. So actually, I do go there. But I'm not even close to you, of course. And I actually saw Maria once in yoga class. I was in the back, admiring her back. I was like, Jesus Christ, all those muscles exist. So yes, I mean, at the time we have common friend, and I remember when we was Jenny, we went to that yoga class, and you were in the first row, and I was in the back row, and I was just beginning my hot yoga class. I was suffering.
Yeah.
I was like, how is it supposed to be relaxing?
Yeah.
And the people said, and we're relaxing in a down dog pose. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm crashing on the floor right now. You tell me it's relaxed.
Actually, if I don't mistake, you got to the trainer that is like, there is no relaxing in his class.
Yeah, I don't know why, but Jenny took me my first time to power chew.
Yeah, like,
Which I almost died. And, I took my husband to Hot One, which is the easiest class, and he died after 10 minutes. He didn't survive, like, even the first 10 minutes of the class.
I took him once too.
Yeah. I was like, never again.
You see, that's what my husband said, never again.
I think, I don't know, I just don't like to be super hot.
You have to get I enjoy during the winter. That's like my favorite.
I think for us, it's almost like a summer experience, so it's in our blood.
Yeah.
We have this upbringing.
So I grew up in Georgia, so it just reminds me of being in humid Georgia, doing work outside.
First day of Georgia, and I'm in the fields.
Yeah.
Yes, but you see, like I really enjoy it during the winter when it's so cold outside, and you just come there and feel so relaxed. But I like it because it's good for your skin. Like it's just. Yes, as you said, it's like a steam kind of experience. So I'm like, okay,
also toxins.
Yeah, so, and your muscles. I feel very relaxed now that I'm like worked almost 2 years into doing it. Now I start enjoying it. Like but in the beginning I was like, all those people liars. Why did they bring me? They're all faking it. You can't enjoy this ever positive. So
it grows on you,
It grows on you. Yeah, and even kickboxing, I'm horrible at it, but I do enjoy that you give it all, even if you're bad at it, but you still feel so much energy at the end. Yeah, but as I said, I'm still struggling.
Yeah, but there is no being bad at it. You go there, you just kick and do whatever you need to do. If you feel afterwards like you accomplished something, that's all that matters, If you feel have this feelings that like, you know what, I feel tired but good.
For a reason. I feel tired for a reason,
Yes. Oh, no, I definitely enjoy it. As I said, if I'll try to do it as much as possible. But it's like, I was trying to kick and do the boxing, and I can't even like move that thing. What it's called, the
heavy bag.
The heavy bag. I can't even move it with my punches. And then there was this one guy when he was kicking and punching this bag, it was almost like bending in two, and it's like was just like flying all over the place. And I'm like, I feel so bad if that would be a human being at any point, anybody. Like he's a freaking killer. He was, I don't know why he was in our class. He was just probably warming up before his workout. But the way he was hitting that bag. I mean, everybody just like gave him some space because it was flying from one end of the room to another, pretty much, and it was just basically almost like bending. And
he was in the zone.
He was into something. I don't know. And he's like a bigger guy too. Someone's like, oh my gosh, I cannot make any even bend in this bag, and he's bending it. So. But I mean, I can definitely see how you can get into it. Like, yeah, if I wouldn't get so many bruises, I probably.
It's one of the things that also like grows in you. First you hate it, then like it's okay, and then like you know what, I need it.
Yeah, and you see, like I've never been a sporty. I was always like playing piano for hours, so I've never been into sports. Like running for me, jogging, push. I still cannot do any pull-ups. That's impossible for me. I'll be, if I'm in a cliff somewhere, I will go right away. That's why, like, every time the shows are all where somebody's like hanging and they're hanging there and they're hanging there. It's like, for me,
nope, that's the end of it.
No, I did 3 seconds in the real life. So I'm always admiring those long hanging somewhere. But I do have this inspiration for more of the action roles. That's why I kind of start taking kickboxing classes. Well, you already accomplished that, so I'm just trying to fake it. But I've learned to fake it pretty good because you can actually take the tactical classes of fighting for camera, and all this is not a real fight, it's just a good faking. But you want to at least look like you're a fighter, so that's the only thing I'm kind of working on. So, and have you seen I, Tonya movie, by the way, where she was an ice skater?
Yeah, no, I saw the previews, but
By the way, amazing movie. I highly recommend. It's funny and it's a good story. You go from like to start crying to laughing and like very quickly.
Kind of like $1 Million Baby style.
Yes, in a way. But it's mostly her ice skating career. Boxing was just like the last maybe 5 minutes of the movie. It's mainly her ice skating career. But I didn't know her story because I'm not from US, and I was on set of that movie. It was Georgia made film, so I was on set of it, and for the long 2 days of that boxing fight, it always hurts my feelings when you spend 2-3 days filming the scene and then it's like 2 minutes in the movie and you're like, really, that's all they got out of that piece? So
But you have inside scoop, so you know what was going on. That's when better experience.
Yeah, but when she falls, at the end of the movie, she falls with like a bloody lip on the floor, and she says just one phrase. Okay, she was falling at least 20 times in a real thing, and every time they have to reapply makeup and they have to clean the floor, make sure it's spotlessly white. So it's like 30 minutes in between, and we did it for a long time. And everybody was like, "What is she cannot say in that take? What is it?" Because we were kind of far from the actual arena where they fight it, and we were just kind of in the crowd for that particular scene. And we're like, what is it she cannot say or remember? But she was just trying to, because it was almost like a last sentence in the movie. So she was trying to bring a lot of
emotion into
it and make it
just
real.
Right.
Just get it just right. But that makeup thing and the cleaning thing, that was very famous. But when you watch behind the scenes, it's interesting how movies are made. Like films like Black Panther and everything, which was made here in Georgia. It's amazing to see the end product, because you know what it was like when they making it, so I would definitely look out for you. If I see any action roles, I would be like keeping you.
I can kick stuff.
You can kick. I mean, you look definitely. And so for that movie, they actually were casting people with a real fighting experience, because they wanted to make sure that it looks realistic, but I was surprised. I'm really admiring her, because she's faking it, she's not a boxer, she's not a skater, but I mean she had it on a level where it's just enough. But I was really admiring her, because if you watched it's Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie,
who I'm talking about, because I don't think I ever said the name. But if you watch her in some movies like Wall Street, where she's just playing this airheaded blonde, and you would never imagine
Completely different people.
You can never. When I saw her on set of that of Itonia, I was like, wow, that's her, really, because she became a totally different person for that movie, and I was like, wow, she can skate, she can box. I mean, wow, So that's why I was like, okay, we have a kickboxing studio right here, 5 minutes from here. We have ice skating down the road. So you never know.
You never know.
The more skills you have as an actor, the more things you know how to do, the more flexible you are and more comfortable you are. So that was my inspiration. But I just remember that they had at least 4 matches there, and they needed at least 4 fighters, to go fighters. And I was like, why didn't I think about my like that? Because these people, they were professional fighters, but they were not actors. They just needed somebody who looks real.
Right.
Yeah. So next time I'll keep you in mind. Just, so because I think it's fun if you've never been on set. It's fun to see how it's behind the scenes.
And probably I might do deer in the headlight.
No, you won't. This got you easy, So you'll be just doing what you already do and how to do. You know how to walk. You know how.
Hopefully not, because if I knock someone out.
That's kind of for fighting, for simulated fights. They actually keep I always this move when they actually break the necks and things Seagull was very famous for that. It looks super cool, but I felt really bad for those people, So,
when you take after take after take, you gotta repeat it.
But it's actually all the work is done by the person whose neck is broken in the movie, because he's the one doing the jerk movement. The other person don't even touch his hand.
Right.
So
probably the next morning it's like, oh.
But I mean, but it looks super cool. And as I said, after I took some classes, I was watching the feedback, and I was like, wow, it looks like I'm really kicking somebody and I'm really hurting somebody. I don't even touch them, So it's actually really fun, but not in real fights. In real fights, you get hurt actually. So we're almost done here. We only have less than 10 minutes left. I guess people are busy on a Friday night. I saw somebody. Oh, thank you, Craig, for lovely compliments. Thank you for joining Joe. So yes, actually somebody was joining us. So guys, next time, don't miss, because we have lots of guests. You need to find our Facebook page. We post a lot of great stuff there. So Behind the Velvet Rope with Irina, find our page and join us, please. But for you, Mario and Austin, I have a question. So what is your next big goal besides your painting? And you said you want to connect with more artists and do more exhibitions. Mm-hmm. What else? Like, where we would see you in the next 5 or 10 years? What should we expect from you?
Well, I think that's my main mindset right now, to get
Focus
my
on
art. That. Yes.
Okay.
So in this direction.
Cool. Well, and I hope we will be catching up from time to time and see where you're at. What are your exhibitions and events, stuff like that. Yeah. So, what about you, Austin? We never asked, but what do you do besides, bodyguard in your life?
I work in technology. I'm a chief technology officer for a financial company. So
I see. So that's why you were trying to.
Yeah.
His brain.
Lots of boring stuff.
I see.
That's why it's fun hanging out with her, you know.
Okay. So
I'm the muscle of the family.
Yeah.
he's the brain.
And the entertainment.
I see. Well, you guys look like you're a great, complementing each other couple.
No, thank you.
It's good when you actually. So, what do you think is a successful relationship? Do you need to be very different and complement each other, or do you need to like the same things and be as similar as possible?
You need to help each other grow, not get in each other's way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no competition between you, or you can compete in different areas. Like you each probably great. I mean, based on your title, I can say you're great at what you do. Mm-hmm. She's great at what she does, but you kind of not in the same area.
Mm-hmm. We do work together though, which is interesting. But yeah.
Oh really?
Same building on the same floor.
Yeah.
Oh really? So you're in IT too?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, something new I learned today.
I'm in the help desk. I help lots of people. Maybe that's where fighting coming from in San Jose. Like, I need to punch something.
Oh, okay. So I see. So after you work in the customer service, you have to help yourself with the kickboxing, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you probably do it remotely. I don't see you doing it in person. Okay?
Yeah, not in person.
Because in person, they probably will
would not go well. Would not go well.
It would be like, this lady at the she was so mean. Or somebody's trying to give you a hard time, because you know what I mean, I'm pretty sure, but trying to give you a hard time and then they Google you and they see, oh shoot, I better not.
I actually had a few employees like that, like, we saw you on YouTube. You look so scary. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a compliment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I guess it's a good thing. You know what I noticed? Like the truly strong people, they are very relaxed and fun in their real life. They would never be threatening. Mm-hmm. It's the people who feel weak for some reason. They're very aggressive usually, and they're trying to kind of dominate the room or, negative, kind of this negative energy. But it feels like deep inside they're like super scared. But people who are confident they can hit your butt, they'll be nice and friendly. They'll be smiling at you because they know if you cross their path. You will never want to do that again. Oh, we have somebody's joining us.
Sugar gliders.
Hi. So yeah, that's going to be on our radio too. That's the beauty of working from home. So you think you should let each other grow and don't compete?
Not only let, but support each other. Think about it. Anytime you try something new or challenging, it's always good to have somebody in your corner, right? Yeah. It makes it that much easier to have that confidence and continue.
And you are literally in the corner.
Yeah.
Of Maria's corner.
He's like, here's that one of some blood.
So you're not concerned, like, oh my gosh, we have to go out in 2 weeks.
Nah.
No, you don't plan something like
He's
that.
been in a couple of cases already when they had like a nice shiner and we go into as a couple, but I guess my muscles talk for myself, like, no, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's not him.
It's not him.
Yeah, it's not him.
Well, usually it's like if it's some kind of a domestic situation, abuse situation, people are trying to hide it.
Yeah.
I wear it.
You wear
your scars
from.
Yeah.
I worked so
like right there.
It's like, actually ask me how I got it. I'll tell you the story. Well, that's a great advice, I think, because I think so many people are trying to find somebody who's either identical to them, and then they cannot really bring anything to each other's life. They're kind of in the same routine, doing the same things. But sometimes people are so different, and those differences are kind of going away. You know, there's no connection. You like different stuff, but you don't, you know, connect anyway. You don't support each other. You more even like compete with each other, which is, I think, the worst. When you're supposed to be, you know, helping each other to go in this, at least in the same direction, you know, and you are trying to pull each other in the opposite. You know, I think it's probably the worst. But you feel like you guys moving in the same direction. So when you're about to take on a new project or like a new hobby or something, do you like discuss it between each other? And
No,
I
really.
don't even plan this stuff. It just kind of happens, and I'm like, hey,
by the way, I'm going to be a fighter now.
yeah.
I'll be counting what is it? Blueberries?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
blueberries,
blueberries.
Counting blueberries. Quite
And lettuce leaves.
I see. Well, so everybody who joined us, I hope you enjoyed our episode tonight with Maria Arlova. Please check out our page again for her art, and also Instagram. You're on Instagram, right?
Yes.
So what's your name on Instagram? Is it
Maria Art.
Maria Art?
And Maria is spelled Marya.
Okay. And so please find Maria on Instagram and Facebook. It's Maria Arlova Artsy.
It's also, if you type Maria Art,
It will show
that's
up.
the name of the page, yes.
Okay, so check out your art, and I'm sure Maria will be famous one day. But we are wrapping up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next Friday with another artist I might actually bring in, but more on our page. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.